welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. Sorry, it's just my back garden. I just feel a bit too lazy today to go to a more scenic spot. Also a bit lazy with the wine. I just bought this in a local shop. I have gone for a Bourgogne Cote d'Or. I think I covered this before in a video, didn't I? This is a new appellation. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce that. Should I go French or English? It's sort of step up from just the lowest common denominator, which is Bourgogne Rouge. Bourgogne, Burgundy region is obviously much bigger than just the Côte de Nuit and the Côte de Beaune, which collectively make the Côte d'Or. So this is a producer called Domaine du Vieux College. I have had some wines from them before. I don't think I have featured any on this channel, and I remember the house style as being really quite heavily extracted, almost slightly sanguineous. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that, sometimes perhaps not so much. I've actually taken the liberty of chilling this for a bit because it's a reasonably warm day and the shop felt reasonably warm. Again, knowing this house style tends to be quite heavily extracted, I think that might have been a good idea. And if it turns out to be too chilled, I can just leave it to warm back up to a more favourable temperature. So it's had half an hour or so in the fridge. I know that's controversial for a red wine. Oh no. I think this is probably the other reason I didn't buy any more wine from Domaine du Vieux College. It's one of those completely synthetic corks. I remember from experience that it is hard work with wine prongs to get this kind of cork out. I'll give this a go for about 10 seconds, and if it's looking like a disaster, I'll go and get a corkscrew. I'm glad I did this at home, because if I'd been stuck with this in the woods, I'd have been quite unhappy, wouldn't I? Oh yeah, these things are a pain. It's coming out sort of a millimetre per turn. I think it's just a lack of friction or something. I'm going to have to get the corkscrew. I don't like synthetic corks. It's like a rubber bung or something in there. I had to rummage around in my booze cupboard and managed to find a corkscrew. I mean, it will eventually come out, but it's putting a lot of strain on the neck of the bottle. And I think, as I may have mentioned in a previous video, I did manage to actually snap the neck off a bottle, which is not really what you want when you're holding it. I hate synthetic corks. Why do they have to do this? Okay, back to the old-fashioned way of doing it. The old-fashioned way for a modern cork. You're going to have to work really hard now, Domaine du Vieux College, to impress me, given that farce I've had to go through. Did I say it's a 2021 vintage? Pretty reasonably priced. I think this came in at something like £27. It's a relatively low appellation, but it is, you know, supposedly a step up from just a Bourgogne Rouge, although obviously it depends on the producer. The producer is based in Marseille, which I think is still Côte de Nuit, isn't it? And they, overall, it says on the back that their domain covers Marseille, Gevrey-Chambertin and Fizan. I mean, if I had to guess of those three, which is the sort of the least prestigious that you're going to end up bunging your grapes in for a Bourgogne Côte d'Or, I'm guessing we have grapes from Marseille here, but could be something else. What do we have then? Unexpected whiffs of kind of smoked meat, barbecuey, a little bit of grilled cherry, but smoked meat and slightly bit veering into that struck match thing that I hate. It does have a nice appearance to it. It's a sort of glassy kind of appearance. Sort of savoury quality to it. Interestingly, on the slightly lighter side, I think. And yet I do feel like I'm getting some dark fruit notes there, possibly blackcurrant. Could be dark cherry. I think the tasting notes from the wine shop said something about wild strawberry, but sceptical about that. Possibly a little bit of licorice in there. It's a confused wine. If this is largely Marseille, then that is a part of the Côte de Nuit that I'm not familiar with. Perhaps needs some mulling over. I've been mulling over this a while longer, and there's really not a lot of fruit character there. I think initially I had a sort of bit of a whiff of black currants and other sort of darker berry fruits, but not getting so much of that now. And there's something kind of almost stone-like, gravelly, flinty sort of nose now, and something like that struck match thing on the nose. Possibly, you know, smoky, barbecuey hints. And the palate is really dry. and really quite savoury. I'm not really getting a lot of fruit character from that at all. Again, I don't even know for sure if this is fruit from Marseille. I don't know if that's typical of that region, but I'm not really warming to that, to be honest. Too dry, too savoury for me. I need a bit more fruit, I think, to really enjoy that. I might come back to you if there's any revelation with second glass, but yeah, not really working for me, I'm afraid, and not just because of the synthetic cork, which I really didn't like.